big night, and it's Kate Reilly James. And she's going to be telling us about, because exposure isn't so delicious.
Please don't be disheartened by the fact that I've got about 45 pieces of paper in my hand. It's not all for tonight. And it starts off with, hello, my name's Kate. I knew that bit. Hello. I'm a freelance journalist and media writer, and I'd like to tell you a tale about exposure. And it doesn't involve any physical kind of accompaniments. So they're my children, that's me. And for the last 9-10 months or so, we have been living on exposure because apparently that's what you're supposed to do when you're building a portfolio as a freelance journalist. As you can see, they're doing quite well. My little boy's still quite chubby, but it's not ideal. So it's a simple concept that you'll all be familiar with. You do some good quality work and you get some money in return from it. But it's not really a new transaction. It's been making the world go round for quite some time. But there's a new worrying trend in the media in particular, where employers around the world seem to think that it's okay, from big conglomerates right the way down to fanzines, to pay people in exposure, in that it's, we'll get your name out there, we'll put your name on the flyer type of thing. It's not just limited to journalism. I've worked with loads and loads of local bands and artists, right the way from face painters up to actors and set designers, who've gotten really good gigs around the city in particular as well, and in the northwest. But the payment has been, it'll really get your name out there, which again doesn't really put food on the table. There's loads of issues involved in this. This could go on and on and on. I'm quite conscious at the time, and the fact that my slides are going really quickly. But it stems right back to bloggers. I started out as a blogger as well. I got picked up by 3 different magazines that wanted me to write for them, as I was a forces wife at the time and moaning about how rubbish it was. And because I lacked the confidence to ask for a fee, I worked for free. So essentially, I've actually been a journalist for about 17 years. I've just only been getting paid for the last kind of 4 or 5 months. So 200 hours in 9 months, I managed to rack up work experience for the likes of Trinity Mirror and the Cumbria News Group, paying my dues and building a portfolio, and living on next to nothing. So exposure's become a form of currency, and it doesn't work, because once I'd qualified and got my NCTJ and become a journalist, the work that I was pitching for is then going to the next cohort of journalists, of students. So it's a big talent pool, but there are hardly any paid jobs. So we need to bring around a change in attitude. You won't be able to read that, and that was kind of the plan, but this list goes on and on and on and on. A website called Pay Me Please, this is what people are having to resort to. A guy who works for Condé Nast Traveller, which is a big publication that I'm sure most people have heard of, has been waiting 3,955 days for a $40 contract. Anybody else in any other line of work, I'm sure, as an accountant or anything else that you can think of that, that's not in media as such, you wouldn't go and do the job and then go, yeah, that's cool, you tell everybody I'm really good at it, and that's your payment. So I don't know what the definitive answer is the honest kind of outcome of this, other than maybe it's a change in attitude. So maybe we need to tell our students that they are good, and they're good enough, and they're worthy of a payment from when they start. Enthusiasm should count for something these days, as opposed to feeling like you've got to flog yourself as to whether you're a young family or whether you're an independent person, just starting out. I guess everybody has to get experience. That's part of the problem, in that, you pitch for a job, and if you've no experience, you're probably not going to get it. But maybe look at working with charities and startups and worthwhile organisations, so that you both get something out of the transaction, and then make sure that you get a fee as you build your portfolio. It's just really, really frustrating, and I'd just like to say thank you very much to James Noakes, who brought me here months ago, and I was really inspired by other people who were just really passionate about what they do, and I think that in itself warrants payment. Oh, do I need to fill? Oh, confidence. So confidence should pay. To be able to stand here and kind of shake and worry about it for weeks and weeks. I've been quite lucky. I studied with the City Liverpool College to get my NCTJ qualification. I'm clearly not 18, I'm 33. It's taken me a little bit longer than everybody else to work out what I wanted to do with myself. But I've gone back in and spoken to the students this year as to what it's been like for the last 9 months for me starting out, because it doesn't really matter how old you are. But to feel as if you're never going to get a job because you're constantly chasing your tail needs to stop. You know, we do need to give people I'll come to Borneo in a minute, the confidence to negotiate with people and to build a working relationship. So whether you need a 500-word press release, a social media strategy, or a documentary in Borneo, please pay your freelancers and make them feel worthwhile. And I'm hoping that's it. Yeah.